15 bands, 0 repeats, pure rock and roll. From the riff that rewired radio to the anthems you still scream in traffic, this is the definitive countdown of the legends we'll never forget. Let's roll. Some riffs never die. They echo through bedrooms, stadiums, and road trips for life. Today, we rank the 15 greatest rock and roll bands. Fact-checked, no filler, one signature track each. If you grew up on guitar, this is your home. Appetite for Destruction took the Sunset Strip's late-night chaos and turned it into a global takeover. Sweet Child of Mine was the surprise, a love song with teeth. Slash's opening riff, born from a practice warm-up, became one of rock's most recognizable signatures. Axl Rose rides the verse like a tightrope, gentle and open, then lets the chorus rip into the rafters. Underneath the hook, Duff and Izzy keep everything swinging like a bar band that suddenly learned elegance. Why does it still hit? Because it sounds human, fragile 1 second, full throttle the next. If the 80s were all hairspray and neon, this track cut straight through the mirror and showed a real band with real blood. Do you remember the first time that riff made you stop what you were doing? When the Black Album landed, it didn't knock on the door, it blew it off the hinges. Enter Sandman is a masterclass in tension, the clean circling intro, the layered chugs, the way Lars's snare locks the room. James Hetfield's vocal is part campfire ghost story, part stadium sermon, and the chorus doesn't so much arrive as take command. For metal, this was a crossing point. The song kept its muscle, no compromise there, but it welcomed the world in with a hook you could shout from the cheap seats. Producer Bob Rock added width and weight, letting every part hit with radio strength without sanding off the grit. Heavy music didn't just get bigger, it got smarter about dynamics. When that main riff drops after the build, do you still feel the floor move? Here's the reset button, a battered fender, a quiet, loud, quiet explosion, and suddenly, the 80s were yesterday. The magic isn't just the distortion, it's the contrast. Kurt mumbles the verse like a private joke, then tears open the chorus like the walls won't hold. Chris Novoselic's bass is a stealth anchor. Dave Grohl's drumming is thunder with thought. Every crash placed for maximum shock. The lyric feels like a crowded hallway, snatches of slogans, sarcasm, sincerity, because being young can feel exactly like that. Radio programmers didn't know what hit them. Kids absolutely did. It wasn't polished rebellion. It was the sound of a small room turning into a movement. When the chorus crashes in, do you crank it or does it crank you? Sleight of hand and some songs feel like distance closing. This one feels like a horizon arriving, built on a simple, repeating progression. It grows by patience. Adam Clayton's bass walks forward, Larry Mullen Jr. keeps the heart beating, and The Edge paints light across the sky with that infinite delay-kiss tone. We reach the shore, you gave it all, but I won't. Bono sings like someone trying to speak and pray at the same time. The beauty is in the build, each layer raising the stakes without breaking the spell. In arenas, the track becomes communal. Alone with headphones, it's confessional. It hit #1 in the US. For a reason, it speaks plainly about push and pull love, then lets the music say what words can't. If rock can be a cathedral and a diary entry at once, this is the prayer you remember. What line hits you hardest, the whisper or the wail? Before the swaggering 70s comeback, there was this, a hungry band aiming high. Dream On is part blues, part art rock, and all ambition. Tom Hamilton's bass moves like a tide. Joe Perry's lines answer Steven Tyler's vocal like a second narrator. And Tyler, young, fierce, climbs that final scream as if he's reaching for a future only he can see. The arrangement builds carefully, piano and strings lift it without turning it soft. The guitar solo sighs instead of shreds, and the chorus feels carved from the same granite as every don't give up speech you've ever needed. It's a debut statement that already sounds like a legacy. When that last chorus breaks open, do you hear 1973? Or every year you needed a reason to keep going? Let's start with a mirage on the highway. Hotel California sounds smooth and sunny at first. 12-string shimmer, warm vocals, that easy West Coast glide. But listen closer, the lyrics pull you into a place that feels luxurious and slightly wrong. It's beautiful, but something's off. That's the genius. The Eagles rap a warning about excess in velvet melodies. By 1976, LA rock was king. The Eagles took that sound and flipped it. The verses are a road movie. The chorus is a trap you can't escape. The band's harmony blend is pristine, but the guitars do the real storytelling. That long outro, call and response between lyrical leads, feels like a conversation after midnight when the truth leaks out. It's one of the most studied codas in rock for a reason. Every note pushes the narrative forward. From Golden, California, we smash into steel. Paranoid doesn't waste time. No intro, no velvet rope, just the riff, the sprint, the voice that sounds like a warning flare. In 3 minutes, Black Sabbath outline what heavy metal can be. Fast, tight, and anxious. The rhythm section is a machine. The guitar cuts like sheet metal, and Ozzy rides over it with a chant you can't shake. This wasn't polished stadium metal yet. It was raw, street level, and British industrial. Factory smoke in the melody, concrete in the drums. The band took blues roots and tuned them darker, then hit the gas. It's music built for basements and bike leathers, but it jumped to the world stage because it was honest about how modern life can grind you down. Now we dial the lights to lava lamp mode. Light My Fire is the doorway into late 60s psychedelia. Hypnotic organ swirl, sly guitar, and a vocal that sounds equal parts poetic and dangerous. You can feel the room, cigarette haze, colored bulbs, crowds who came to get lost. The track is a study in contrasts. The verses are compact pop. Then the band opens the floor and takes the long road. Organ and guitar trading lines like dancers circling each other. It's not indulgence, it's architecture. Every solo feels like a corridor you walk down only to find another door, and when the chorus returns, it's like stepping outside for a breath of air. switch from candle smoke mystique to concrete swagger. Back in Black is the sound of a band refusing to fold. After tragedy, AC/DC came back swinging. The riff is pure geometry, clean angles, no wasted motion. The drums are a brick wall. The vocal is grit and grin. It's heavy, but it never drags. It's loud, but every piece has space to punch. This song and the album it names turned a band into a global language. You can play 2 seconds of that opening and people from 10 countries will nod on the same beat. It's party music with steel-toe boots, built for arenas, bar jukeboxes, and any day you need to feel bulletproof. Just begun. No rules now. Bohemian Rhapsody is Risk turned into radio gold. It shouldn't work on paper. A piano ballad, an operatic middle, a headbang breakdown, and a delicate exit. But Queen thread it together with tone, drama, and precision. Didn't mean to make you cry if I'm not back again. Freddie sings like a spotlight is following him through a dream. The band stacks harmonies into cathedrals, then knocks them down with a guitar chorus that still feels like a storm breaking. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, The brilliance is how emotional it stays while it shape shifts. You never feel lost, you feel led. The song taught rock audiences that structure can be wild and still feel inevitable. After this, experimentation wasn't just for the fringe, it was for the charts. This is where rock turns cinematic. The story inside Comfortably Numb is simple. Alienation, numbness, a voice trying to break through, but the sound is huge. Roger Waters' verses feel like a cold hospital corridor. Then David Gilmour answers, like sunlight ripping through a curtain. That guitar solo, it's a slow climb, not a sprint. Wide bends, patient phrasing, every note placed like a scene in a film. You will not understand, this is not how. What makes it last is the balance. Dark lyric, warm melody, clinical verses, soaring choruses. It's head and heart in one song. And the production detail matters. The stereo space, the drum reverb, the ghostly backing vocals. You don't just hear it, you step into it. Youth didn't just get a voice, it got a weapon. My Generation is raw electricity. John Entwistle's bass solo snarling at the front. Keith Moon splashing like he's trying to drown the beat. Pete Townshend slashing chords like he's cutting a hole in the room. And Roger Daltrey spitting the lyric like a dare. It's not polished, it's not polite. That's the point, the stutter, the feedback, the crash at the end. These are features, not flaws. The Who turned frustration into form. You can hear punk being invented years early. You can hear the 60s moving from Love In to Showdown. Stairway is a journey with no wasted step. It starts like a folk tale, Jimmy Page's finger-picking, and John Paul Jones's recorder lines building a small, secret world. Robert Plant guides you through it like a storyteller by the fire. Be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have too much. Then the drums enter, quiet at first, the path widens, and the dynamic lifts. By the time the solo arrives, you're not in a folk song anymore. Page doesn't shred, he sculpts. The band lifts behind him, and the whole thing ignites into a final verse that feels like a curtain pulling back on a bigger stage. The beauty isn't only the climax, it's the patience getting there. Three notes, one fuzz tone, world changed. Keith Richards' riff is short enough to hum and tough enough to carry the whole record. Charlie Watts locks the pocket, Bill Wyman presses it forward, and Mick Jagger sneers through modern life, adds boredom, and that itch you can't scratch. The magic is attitude as arrangement. It's not a lot of chords, not a lot of parts, but the chemistry is perfect. The groove never blinks. It's the sound of a band that knows exactly what it wants to be. Dangerous, catchy, unstoppable. You could wipe the title off the label and still know it's the Stones within one bar. Here's the moment rock became a widescreen art form. Two worlds stitched together. John Lennon's dreamlike newsreel and Paul McCartney's everyday rush, tied by those rising orchestral swells that feel like time bending. It's not a normal song structure, it's a short film. Listen to the details, the alarm clock, the echo around Lennon's voice, the orchestra climbing from order to chaos, the final piano chord ringing into silence like the earth taking a breath. The Beatles weren't just writing hits anymore, they were building experiences. A Day in the Life is proof that rock could hold poetry, experimentation, and pop instinct all at once. The journey doesn't end here, rock warrior. Watch this next.